All right, guys, welcome to this Sunday's edition of the Boss Chat, where we are just coming together, sharing, identifying challenges that we have, coaching and inspiring each other through those, and just setting up and ensuring that we have a plan in place to be as successful as we choose to be. I'm Carrie B, and I'm one of the I'm a Cincy director, actually, and I'm one of the members of the Boss Group. And this, myself, along with the other ladies that'll join us tonight, are what makes this group amazing. And I hope we have amazing conversation like we did last week. So I'm just going to call you guys out in order like we did last week. If you're ready to share, Shauna, if you want to share your goals from last week. And I think what we'll do is not necessarily share all the goals, but just share the goal. One goal that you set and that you met or exceeded, and one goal that you need improvement on. I think that helps us identify and remember that we're not all, always have it together. So whenever you're ready, you just *6 if you're on the phone, or unmute yourself. Did Shauna go away? Shauna, you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, yes, we can. Go ahead. Shauna, we can hear you. Okay, next we're having phone issues. Nakia, you want to unmute yourself and go ahead, and we'll come back to Shauna. Let's see. She's chatting. What is she saying? Okay. She said her 3-year-old, Nakia said her 3-year-old is mixing it up, so she's not going to unmute, but she had 2 recruiting meetings this week. And was that part of your goal for this week? And what was a goal that you need to improve on, or that you weren't able to meet? Okay, so she had a recruiting meeting for 1, and she ended up having 2, so that's what's up. And she still has not followed up with her past customers, so that will be part of your goal to continue on. Okay, Tanya. Thank you, Nakia. Tanya, you want to share your goals for the week from last week?
Actually, I don't really have any goals because I just joined Cincy a couple days ago. So I'm actually working on my goals. So.
Oh, that's what's up. So you just joined a couple of days ago, so I imagine that you're going to be going for the trip. So this call will be hopefully very helpful to you. So welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Yvonne?
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Happy Sunday. My gosh, how quickly a week goes already. So I actually had I had a few goals, but one of them was to have a meeting with one of my potential recruits, which we actually had a phone conversation today. And she's still, all right, mommy's on the phone. Okay. All right, mommy's on the phone. So go finish dinner, please. Thank you. Sorry about that. So we had that meeting actually today. No, I'm in a meeting. Nisi and I have been, I forgot who mentioned it last week in the Marco Polo app, but that has been really helpful because Nisi and I have been basically chatting like multiple times during the day, just bouncing ideas off of each other. And I still haven't gotten through it, but another one of my goals was to get through. So I don't know if everybody knows about the Discovery or Aha Moment group, and that has been like eye-opening. And so I think I've gotten through like 4 videos, but 20 something minutes per video, right? So it's a lot of time, especially if you're taking notes and you really want to be diligent and focused. And so I really want to make it count. So I've kind of just had to like check into that group, listen to like one or two people, then like bounce out. But it's been really, really helpful.
Cool. Shauna, are you ready? There you go. Go ahead.
I think so. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I would say some goals. I spoke with one other coworker at my current firm that I'm at. She's thinking about joining. I was telling her about the super kit that we're having with the diffuser and everything. So so I think she's going to go ahead and join. So I was happy about that. I'm a little nervous because I gave notice at my job. So I'm going to be trying to pursue Scentsy full time, and I want to give it my all. I'm going to try. So yeah.
That is
so I'm excited about that.
Yes. Amen.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and share, and then we can ask Nikki if she wants to share. So my number one goal last week was to lead with recruiting, because I am such a salesperson and not such a recruiter. So the goal that I didn't meet was my recruiting goal. I did a couple things. I got my list of my frontline cancellations, and so I've identified the 8 people that I'm going to be connecting with there. I had 2 meaningful conversations. I wanted to have 5. I had 2. I have 1 person that's supposed to sign up at the end of the month, and I have 2 that are kind of wavering, so we'll see. And the goal that I met, I set a sales goal of $500 by the 5th, and once I realized I had hit that early on, I pumped it up to $700. So I did $700 by the 5th. So my next goal, of course, will be to do that again by the 10th. So I'm excited about that, but got to pump up that recruiting. Nick. I did. Sorry. I was just talking to you guys and you can't hear me. We're going to just move right along. We'll get Nikki in later if she wants. I wanted to confirm, does this time work for everybody? Are we doing okay with this time of coming in at 7:30, 6:30 Mountain? Okay. 8:30 East Coast time. So tonight we want to really dive into, and I want you guys to really, if you have just some suggestions, we're not really wanting to focus on how to get to the incentive trip as much as committing to earning the incentive trip. So many times, especially if we're new or we've never earned one, we tend to look at the qualifications and we kind of shy away from them, right? We're like, ugh, yeah, that's not for me. I'm here to tell you guys that if you're a recruiter, this incentive is for you. If you're a salesperson, this incentive is for you. And if you're a little bit of both, this incentive is for you. And what I mean by for you is that you can earn it. You just have to identify. Now, I can't remember because I'm in a few groups, but I think I uploaded the scenarios from Jacqueline Leroy in them, where they had, if you went to a director, sales versus recruiting versus going to reunion, right? So how many of you guys have identified which level you're going for? And what I mean by that is that if you're certified, you may be saying, I'm going for the superstar consultant or director level because of all those promotions, you know what I mean, that are going to get you there. So you have to know what it is. So for me, I'm working at the director level. And of course, the director that went to reunion. And I'm doing the $2,000 in sales with the 6 people recruit. So again, the importance of knowing how many. So if you need to recruit 6 people in my example, then you technically have to go for like 15, 20, I'll say 25 people to net that. Because Debbie Pitts-Farmer, if you remember, she shared in her video, In August, she recruited 22 people, but only 8 certified. Do you see? So if only 8 certified and only 12 are still with her today, that's something that you want to focus on. Hi. Sorry, my son just came home. Come here. Come here. He's not going to come because the video's on. Sorry. I have mama here. Now I done lost my mind. Give me oh. It's a group that I'm on. Sorry, guys. Mama moment. It's so important that we identify and we understand what it takes. So I want to know who on here has actually earned an incentive trip before that can help me share. Okay, so I know I have, and I can't see Nakia and Tanya, but you guys can. Well, Tanya just joined us, but what it takes is you have to, like I said, you have to decide what you're going to do. So if you're doing $500 a month in sales consistently, you're going to have to bump that up. The sales has to get bumped up. And what we have to start doing is we have to realize that what we do in the last 10 days of the month, if we just magnify that and do that, like I'm doing it the 5th, the 10th, the 15th, the 20th, like that. I'm doing it every 5 days, setting a goal. You realize that you can do it. It's just that your mind hasn't been there for you to do it, if that makes sense, right? We kind of get into that mode of, I call it the end of the month hustle, because we haven't planned or prepared for our month. So we take the first 10 days to figure out what we're going to do. And then we really only have 10 good days to get it done. Does that make sense? So one of the number one things that I did is I took my calendar, and across the top of every page, I wrote down what Cincy does. For instance, if it's January, to bring back your bars. If it's new catalog coming out in September. If, like for me in May, I started writing down across the thing to start looking for fundraisers. So you've got to know what your month is bringing as much as you can before you get to the month. So we know in September we have a new catalog, right? We know in August that there's 10% off. There's a double kit. There's all kind of tools and things that can help us. New warmers. We have 2 warmers of the month, 2 scents of the month, those types of things. And then you have to start strategizing. How am I going to use those things to meet my $2,000 a month? So maybe you're in a situation where your time is so taken. You're like, wow, $2,000 a month. So you may have to start thinking fundraisers. You may have to start thinking events so that you can get the sales in a more bulk way than doing individual parties and things like that. So again, identifying only you know your family situation, your financial situation. So like me, I'm branching out and I'm spending more on vendor events this year. We picked out 4 huge vendor events that they're $250 or more, but we feel like we can do the most. But that's a stretch for us because I'm normally like a $100, 25, 75, you know what I mean? I try to stay in that budget. But I see the amount of people when the whole entire city is having an art festival. I probably want to try to tap, that's the $250 I'm willing to invest, right? So you're going to have to decide what it is you can do. And then remember to don't get away from your core thing of parties. Parties will get you there because they put you in front of a ton of people, right? You get 10 to 15 people at a time, but still those recruits make the difference because recruiting is actually, I think, the way that most of these people that are in the top 100 actually hit their sales. So you have I thought somebody had a question. So identifying what it is you want to do. So if everybody knows which role they're going to follow and whether you're going to go for pretty much all of these scenarios, go for $2,000. It's $2,000 in commission each month. I mean, I'm sorry. I wish it was commission, huh? Sales, $2,000 in sales, $1,500. And I think that's, so it's $2,500, $2,000, and $1,500. So you have to decide if you're going to do that. And then it goes down to your recruits. It's 6 or 3. So it's 6 or 3. And then there's a 5 if you do the more sales you do. But again, are you a salesy person? Are you a recruiter? And again, you have to also get rid of that mindset that I can't. She's like, what do you mean? I can't. You can do anything you put your mind to. So when you need to do a minimum of $2,000 a month, you break that down I always break it down into 4 weeks, even if there's 5. So that's $500 a week. And then if you want to break it down into 5 days, that's $100 a day. However it works in your mind, that's how it works in my mind. So if you're doing the plan where you have at least one basket party out, you have at least one home show or event a week, right? And you're sharing everywhere you go and you're sponsoring 2 to 3 people, you will hit that number automatically. But to some of you, I just said, you don't understand anything I just said, because your brain doesn't work that way. So you've got to identify, how does your mindset work? You know, some people can't do daily sales. They just know, I need to have a party and it needs to be $300, right? I need to have I need to recruit 2 or 3 people. But I'm asking you to dig deep and identify how that looks in your life, right? So we know school's about to start. We know sons and daughters have soccer and ballerina and homeschool, and we already know all those things. So identify those things and then figure out how you're going to make it happen. That's what I'm asking you to do. I want us all to be on the boat together or at reunion, because again, if you know, life may have you have to go to reunion, and that's okay. But I want us to hold each other accountable to get there. So I'm going to stop talking, and I would like for someone to share what is their biggest challenge, or what is it that, you know, like they're either you haven't even thought about it, you just don't feel it's possible, or you just really, truly just don't know how to get started. And between myself, Nikki, and anybody else that has already worked through their plan, we're going to try to help you get there. So does anybody want to unmute, or Nikki, do you want to add anything? And we're saying, if you have any questions on earning, or, you know, how to set up your plan for the incentive trip. So do we assume everybody has a plan? Yes? It's the only bad thing about Zoom. I know Nakia said her child is acting. So Tanya, do you want to share what you have going on for the incentive trip, or what your thought process is?
Okay, I had to unmute you guys. Honestly, I'm just reading onto it. I'm going to go through the checklist tonight. So I'm really just fresh. I'm not even sure what the incentive trip is. And so I'm going to be just straight honest. I'm just starting to read upon it, about it right now. So any guidance that anyone has, it's going to be greatly appreciated. First time I've ever done anything like this before. And so I know Nikki said that she's going to help me quite a bit. So I told her she's going to have to hold my hand quite a bit at the beginning. But I catch on pretty quickly. So I'm hoping I can make a career out of this. So we will see.
Okay. And you know what? I just appreciate the transparency there. And that's what I'm saying is where are you at? So thank you for being transparent and letting us know, because there's probably someone else on the call or that'll watch the recording that's in the exact same place. And that's what we want to do. We want to inform you, so at least when you walk away tonight, you'll say, okay, yeah, this is something I want to look further into. Typically when you're new, you kind of earn the trip by accident, because you're just learning so much and you're doing, and you're like, ooh, well, okay, I got enough points. Woo. So the first thing that Tanya said is that she is reading through it. I think that that's the key thing. And then she said, I'm not even sure what the incentive trip is. So every year, we'll just start and tell you that. Every year, Cincy announces at our summer family reunion, like a convention, they announce where our next incentive trip is going to be, where our next reunion is going to be. So the incentive period starts August 1st and it runs through January 31st of the following year. So it's August 1st, 2017 this year through January 31st of 2018. On the workstation, you can do a search for the Cincy incentive trip, and there's a FAQ and actually the description on how you earn the points and all kind of sorts of things. This year, the trip is a 7-day cruise, Mediterranean cruise to different places. I can't name them all: Italy, Rome, France, and there's someplace else. There's 5 places, right? So and what Cincy does is they set up a point system that involves recruiting, and a certain amount of points must come from other things other than just sales, because a lot of people do a lot of huge vendor events during this time, and they could probably earn the trip just by buying their product for the event. So since it requires that you also have a certain amount of points that come from non-sales, so it goes up. The higher rank you are, the higher that point thing is. So for directors, I know it's 6,000 points. So what you first decide is that sounds like something you'd like to earn for free. This includes your airfare. This includes everything you need when you earn the highest level. I think it's level 4, right? Because level 1 is the you can earn Cincy Family Reunion for free, airfare and your accommodations. Level 2 is you earn the incentive trip, the 7-day Mediterranean cruise, but it doesn't include your airfare. Level 3, you earn the incentive trip for yourself, including the airfare. And then level 4 is you earn the incentive trip and you could bring someone else along for 100% free as well, airfare and everything. So understanding that, and then identifying yes or no if you want to go for that. Then this is where we started talking about the scenarios on how do you break down. So for level 4, it's 30,000 points, right? So how do you break that down and earn that? So they have one of the scenarios is if you did not go to reunion. Hang on, I locked my door. So sorry, my son just got here and he's tripping. If you did not go to reunion, we'll do an example. So when you're going for the 30,000 point, that's an all expense trip paid for 2. One of the examples that you could go for scenarios would be trying to find the one that's 2,000 and I'm not finding it this second. The one I'm going for. Okay, well, because I went to reunion, so I kind of cut out all the rest of them. So we'll just do this one. It would involve 2,000 points in PRV a month, right? So you would have to sell at least 2,000 in a PRV in my scenario. And there's also points when you get paid at title. So paid at title means if you're certified, you get paid at title so many months out of the plan. It's 5 months, but right, it's 5 out of the 6 months you paid a title. I'm sorry, paid a title is whatever your title is, you get paid at that title throughout the 6 months. So for instance, if you come in as a certified and say for August, September, you're paid as certified, and then in October you promote to lead, right? Then you get paid at lead, you'll get paid a title. Then the next month you're lead again, you get paid a title like that. So you're getting points for being paid at whatever your title is. So that's another very important when you're setting up your plan, is to make sure you understand what getting paid at title means. Whatever title you're at, and then as you promote, getting paid at that title, and as you promote, getting paid at that title, all the way through the whole 6 months, okay? So that's your consistently paid at title bonus. Then when you sell your $2,000 a month, August through January, and then getting paid at, for me, in this case, it would be getting paid at director. So if there's 6 months to earn it, and if I get paid at director at least 5 of those months, they give us 4,000 points for that. Again, you'll have to find your scenario. And then I would need to recruit at least 6 people that get certified in order to meet my goal. So I say all of that just to say that you need to just identify what it is that you can do and you want to do. So 2,000 is a good point to start at in PRV. Sponsoring 2 to 3 people each month is another good point. And then being consistent. And if you're certified or lead or star or superstar, working on getting promoted. Well, whatever level you are, working on getting promoted and being paid at that title 5 out of those 6 months. So it's just really the incentive scenario you just need to decide that you want to go for it, and then decide what it takes each month. Because we're already in August, you guys. August counts. These days count. We wanted to talk about this last week, but it was such a great conversation that we were like, oh, let's just let this roll, right? So with that sharing, is there anybody else that has any questions or just, again, not really sure where to get started, or just, because again, I'm not trying to clarify the rules. I want to make sure you understand that what it takes and the commitment level it takes in order to earn the incentive. This isn't a $500 a month incentive plan, 500 points. You've got to go for 2,000 or more in sales, or you've got to massively recruit. You can bring that down to 1,500, but then you got to bump up the number of recruits that you go for each month and get them certified. So anybody want to star 6 in and share anything or ask a question?
I have a quick question. So what is the time frame you can earn this trip? I know you mentioned it before. Is it 6 months?
Yes, 6 months, August 1st. So this month through January 31st.
Oh, okay.
So when you look over the points, you'll see the different points that you can get just from being consistent, from recruiting, from promoting. There's all kind of points you can get that you can make up without yourself. But what I'm saying is, this is the thing, you guys. When Cincy puts anything out, whenever there's levels, you always want to go for the highest level, because the worst case could happen is you earn level 1. But if you only go for level 1 and you miss it, you earn nothing, right? So that's why I'm saying that if you bump up your sales, let's just say, Tanya, that you know what, you get 10, 12 people signed up and they all certified, you're going to get 22,000 points from that. You're going to earn the trip, and you did just do $500 a month. You'll earn the trip that way. But what if that doesn't happen? And that's why we're saying bump up your PRV that you do each month so that it'll compensate for some of those recruits don't certify, if that makes sense, right? Because if you think minimum and you miss the mark, you're going to miss the trip. You're going to miss the reunion for free. So again, we got to think at the top, the highest level, and then go hard for that and manage that, because it's not a bad thing earning. I earned my first incentive trip for 1, and I had a blast on the trip. You know what I mean? Did I miss my husband? Yes, but I had a blast. So Shauna says she's honest, she doesn't know how to get started. So Shauna, you're saying you know how to get started with the incentive trip, right? And that's okay. And again, that's why we're having this hard conversation, we're vetting this out, because there's more of us out there that don't even know how to get started. And what do we do when we don't know how to do something? We just ignore it, or we turn away from it and we don't try because we're not informed. So I want to encourage you guys to go onto the workstation and make sure you print off the rules and the FAQ and study it and get with your sponsors and your directors, whoever, and get your questions answered. You can even chat with consultant support and go for this. You want to earn this trip. And like I said, even if you're going for a reunion, I don't think going to California for free is a bad thing as well, right? So don't, fight for it and go for it. But understand that minimum doesn't work in these scenarios. Debbie Fitz-Farmer is a go-getter. I mean, I think, what did she say? She turned in like $1,500 or $1,700 or something crazy the first few days of the month. Well, that's kind of where I got the idea. I'm like, you know what? The only difference with me and her is that she's actually working this like crazy. And so that's why I started doing the 500 every 5 days, because I'm like, I can do this. I have a party, I have events, these types of things. So Shauna, I think the best way to get started would be to go out there and print off the information, read it, and identify where you're at. So again, if you're at certified, look at all the levels you can earn: lead, star, superstar, director, and those are all promotional points that you're getting as you go up. That's a huge way to earn this incentive trip. Nikki, you want to add anything or come in?
Sorry, tell me what you're doing, Carrie. You're doing 500 every 5 days?
Yes. So what I did is, I train my group to do 500 by the 15th normally, because as a leader, you got to get there. Well, for the incentive period, I decided that I'm going to do 500 every 5 days. So the 5th, the 10th, the 15th, the 25th. And then I have the rest of the month to make up any gaps or anything that I have. So my first week, I did 700. I had an event and I had orders. And now I'm already working on, I just really, really, really pumping that I'm telling everybody bars are $3.75 when you purchase a 6-pack, and they're just going nuts, And I have customers that love lush gardenia and satin sheets. And so I'm really going through my workstation and finding those people and really marketing to them to get them. And most people are ordering 2 and 3 6-packs, not just 1. So that's another huge thing.
Yeah, I'm like Yvonne. I've been on that AHA group, and I don't know, Yvonne, did you watch, what's her name? Jennifer Anderson?
Oh,
hers was,
the $10,000 paycheck?
No. Hers was basically like you have to put sales first. Like if you change your mindset to
Yes.
doing sales, the recruits come. And hers was my favorite one that I've watched so far. So I'm definitely gonna.
And Nikki,
Go ahead.
Nikki,
That's not your favorite one. Tell me some other good ones to watch, because I really enjoyed hers, and it's all about that mindset. Like because I'm always thinking like, okay, who can be my next recruit? Okay, who do I need to talk to here? But if you change your mindset to the sales, she's so right. I bet the recruits will come. So that's going to be my focus during this whole incentive time, because I have a list of people that I want to contact about joining. But I'm like, you know what? She is so right. And I like how she didn't sugarcoat anything. She's like, look, you either gonna work or So What was your favorite?
Nikki, let me jump in real quick before she answers. Before Ron answers. The reason why is because it's funny that you say sales is what you're going to focus on. And so I'm such a salesperson, right? And I didn't feel like I was recruiting until I got my cancellation. And I've done over 120 people that I've recruited in the time that I've been here, which that blew my mind. But what's her name? Melissa Gratz, in her other aha, she spoke to me, and like she spoke to my soul on a deep level, because I am such a salesperson, and I'm moving so much product. She recruits through her labels. So, she has her picture on her labels with her story, right? She has her pitch, she has a little card that she puts inside of her boxes that says she's an entrepreneur, she's a rock star leader, she's a 8-time incentive trip earner. So those are seeds of recruiting. And so the reason why I spoke to my soul is because I was so down on myself for not having these hard recruiting conversations. And then I realized, no, I'm just not maximizing what I'm good at and inserting recruiting into that. So I am a salesperson. Like you give me a challenge, I'm going to hit it. I mean, you just say, Carrie, go sell $200 a day. I can do it. And that's just my flavor. But now learning to interject recruiting into that has been huge. So Vista Prince has been my friend of ordering all these postcards and stuff to put inside these, my packages and my labels and just everything. So go ahead, Yvonne, tell us your favorite, because I am an aha moment junkie right now.
So I'm on that tip right now. I have, Nikki, I have not finished watching them, so I haven't seen Jennifer's. The first one I watched was, so actually, let me back up. So for anyone who doesn't know, there is a Facebook group. No, baby, check on my bed or check in your room, okay, for your blanket. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, then I'll find it after I'm done. Sorry about that. So for anybody who doesn't know, there is a Facebook group. It's called Discover Your Aha Moment. And these are superstar directors, star directors, and directors who, and I haven't seen any other titles there, but correct me if I'm wrong, who are really just speaking about very specific topics related to business. So like Jill McCarthy, she goes by Jilly Sue. She spoke about using social media and about your branding and connecting with your customers, which I thought was very powerful. And that was the first one I actually watched. And then I watched Erin Fluharty, and she talked about her scent of the her scent of the month and what she does with scent of the month and how she sends it out to all these customers for 3 months. And after the 3rd month, then she gives like oops, don't let that happen. You're about to get dropped off unless you place an order. So there's all these systems, and I haven't finished watching, but somebody's who I watched today, Andy Teeter?
Yeah, Andy Teeter. She's the bomb.
She was real.
Yes.
I really liked her. Yes. And she was just, and that's the kind, okay, you can say hi real quick.
Hi.
So my kids are used to being in my Facebook live video, so sorry about that. So I'm a very much of a, like, just give it to me direct kind of person and just be honest and straight and open and transparent with me. And that's how she was. Like, if you really want to work this business, you got to be all in. I found it very impressive and a tad bit overwhelming where she says, like, she's recruited like 30 people in 1 month. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't even know how I would be able to manage that. But it's also sky's the limit. So as I was saying earlier, that it's taking me a bit of a while because I really want to be able to take all these and ingest them. In terms of being able to sit, because they're all about, I don't know, Carrie, would you say they're all about like 20 minutes, 20, yes, around that? Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, if you think about it, just to sit there and watch all that, and I have 2 girls, so to sit there and try to like uninterrupted, today it was like, mommy, I want juice. I'm like, all right, give me 5 more minutes. I got 5 more minutes left on this Facebook Live video. But my plan is by the end of tomorrow to watch all of them. So Nikki, now that you say that, I'm actually really interested in watching. Here, give it to me. Seeing Jennifer.
So
and seeing that.
The other thing is, you guys, watching these ahas is important, right? And getting on these trainings is important. But remember, what you're doing is right. You don't have to stop what you're doing. What you should do is take away things that you can tweak. Because sometimes that's another thing we get. We're like, oh my God, that is so great. And we start doing that. But we don't, like for, how do you say her name again? Aaron Twitter, whatever. Now I forgot her name. 30 Recruit to the Month. She, we don't know what her life is, right? We don't know if she's a stay-at-home mom, if she's got a nanny and things like that. So make sure you take what you can and apply it to your life in a version that works for you, right? And then remember, if you're at ground zero, you've got to build up to these things. Set your expectation right, because it is your mindset. If your mindset says that, you know what, if I don't lose these 30 pounds or if I don't recruit these 30 people by this day, I'm done, then you're never going to be successful, because this business has this ebbs and flows. So make sure that you watch them with the intent of what nuggets can I take away from. I have what I call a parking lot on my video, like when I'm my training notebook, where I take notes and stuff for everything convention or these AHA videos or Saturday calls. And I have a parking lot of things that just said, woo, they spoke to me. And I write them on the parking lot. And those are things I want to incorporate into my business eventually, but I don't always necessarily have to run and do it right away. Because again, you don't want to think that everything you're doing is wrong, because what you're doing is right for you. But what we have to ask ourselves is, could I be doing more, right? So if you're not hitting your numbers, then you have to step back and say, I mean, being real honest with yourself. You know, did I really follow up with as many people as I could? Did I really, really try to push the sales or push the product that's featured this month or what have you? And if the answer is no, then it's on you to just do it more massively. It's not that anything's broken. It's not that Cincy's not for you. It's just that you haven't decided that you're all in and you're going to go as hard as possible for it. And that's what we have to do. So your commission check is always a direct reflection of your efforts. That's it. If you are not making the money you want, you have to step back and say, because I used to look at Debbie Pitts-Palmer and some of the other people and be like, dang, how they do that, you know? But what the only difference is their action, you know? And we have to stop making excuses and saying, well, they've been in it long enough. Her kids is grown. No, time out. We got people that got 12 kids. They homeschool all of them. We got people that got disabilities that their kids are disabled or they're disabled themselves, and they are earning these trips. They are recruiting 10 and 12 people a month, and we just have to decide in our minds that we're going to do it. And that's the other beauty of this group is sharing what you see. If you see something that, hey guys, I watched this video, I think you guys should all go watch it. It's, you know, bam, it's about consistency. She was true. She brung it. Something like that. We want to make sure we're sharing. And the other thing on Jill McCarthy, she has a group, if you're not in it, it's called the Social Super Group. Isn't that what it's called? Is anybody in that group? Dottie, are you in that group? Jill's Social Super Group? Okay, Jill's Social Super Group, I believe that's what it's called. Somebody's on their computer, they can look it up. It's a free group, and she has like webinars that she's done, and she'll walk you through, you know, like Instagram and Canva and just things on how to do social media. And like Yvonne shared, she's very big on branding, but branding your own self, not Cincy, branding yourself, so that if Cincy, you know, people can identify you as Carrie B. You know, Carrie B, the chick who sells Cincy and goes on all these trips. Not Cincy, oh, you know, Cincy, oh, and there's this girl named Carrie B that sells it. You know what I'm saying? You want to brand yourself and how to be unique. So I'm excited. I love the Aha Moments group because I get fired up every time I watch one of those videos. But I've learned over the years to not discount what I'm already doing. It teaches me to pump it up. Do you know what I'm saying? So again, if you're on this call and it's 8:14, 9:14, 7, 6, wherever you are, 14, and you really haven't done what you could, you only have a plan, Monday's gonna come, and you don't have no samples made, I'm encouraging you, get up, get your samples made, get your list made. Start, when you're on Facebook, Facebook should be all about who can I build a relationship with? Who can I start building a relationship with? It's time out for looking at the latest jokes and all of those things. And I'm just being real with you guys. I had to have this real talk with myself that I earned Punta Cana because I decided that I could do it one, and that I'm not going to miss another incentive trip because you haven't been on a trip until you've been on an incentive trip. I mean, I'm serious. So who else got a question or comment or wants to share?
So, Carrie, one of the aspects that you talked about that just resonated with me from Jill's video is that on Facebook, are you using Facebook to its most potential? So she mentioned, like, I didn't even know about interest groups, and that's how you can, what she had talked about in her aha moment was that about creating an interest group with your customers and then touching base with them before you're constantly just engaging with your personal friends or other Sensi consultants. So building that relationship with your customers. So I thought that was a really noteworthy point. And then it made me go and like try to figure out, how do I build this interest list? Which then I found out, and somebody had posted a link to it as well.
Yes, good point. And you guys, if you see someone that you are amazed by what they're doing, don't be afraid to reach out. You know what I'm saying? But we don't want to reach out and say, tell me your secret. That's not it. It's how are you doing this? And probably what you're going to hear over and over again is that they are massively doing whatever it is. So either they're at events every weekend, you know, where they're sharing and handing out samples and having these conversations, or they have 10 and 12 parties on their books or basket parties. Or they're making videos. You know, you just need to figure out how they're doing it, and then you have to ask yourself, what am I willing to do? Because it's very important for you to know what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. Some people just aren't willing. Like, for instance, you may not be willing to party on the weekends because that's your family time. That's okay. But Tuesdays and Thursdays, you need to be knocking it out the park, or whatever day during the week you pick to have a party. Do you see the difference? It's, you know, so many of us, there's two types of people. Oh my gosh, we talked about this in church today, but you got the people who see someone successful and it pisses them off, excuse my French, but it makes them mad, right? And then you got the people who see somebody successful and they're like, I want to be like that. Or, wow, if they can do it, I can do it. You got to ask yourself, which person are you? Do you become jealous at other people's success, or are you motivated by other people's, inspired by other people's success? And if you become jealous and think, you find all kind of reasons why they're doing it, or why, you know, justifying their success in a negative way, then you've got to look at yourself and ask yourself, then what is it that you're lacking? And usually it's just knowledge. You just need to either read more about it. You need to do it more, you know, go for the know more, have more parties, go out and find an event, break down. I have to, if you ever had a conversation with me, you kind of get that deer in the headlight looks up like, okay, yeah, but you're not connecting. So I have to keep asking questions until I understand it. And people get frustrated because they're like, come on, you can't be that stupid. But the way you're saying it is it's not connecting with me. So keep asking questions. Don't get frustrated. Keep asking questions, because none of us on this screen and none of us at this in this meeting right now, live or recorded, are any better than the next person. The only difference is how hungry are you? Are you willing to, you know, say, okay, like Nakia, Shani, they shared, you know, Shana shared, I don't even know how to get started. You know, Tanya was like, I'm not sure I've read through it. That's being authentic and letting yourself know it's okay, because somebody can help you when you let them know where you're at. But if you try to put up that, you know, I got this, and then your sponsor sees, okay, yeah, you got this, but you didn't activate this month. You didn't recruit one person. You can lie to yourself all day long. I mean, you can lie to me all day long, but don't lie to yourself. Be true to yourself. And that's just real talk. I mean, like, we gotta be that honest with ourselves, and we can do this. You can sell $2,000 in a month. You can recruit at least 2 people this month, but you have to tell yourself you can, and you have to figure out what actions it takes to get there. And the number one thing is your calendar needs to be filled. Your samples need to be made. I get into the elevator work every day looking for somebody with my sample in my hand that I can hand that sample to. And because everybody got the same email extension. I just ask them, what's their last name? What's your last name? What's your first initial, your first name? I'm going to find you. I'm going to find you. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be that intentional about it, you know, and people call you crazy. So what? Tell them to call you crazy while you sitting on the beach enjoying your drink, or, you know, swimming with the sharks or the stingrays. You know what I mean? Let them call you crazy then. So anybody else comments or things? Because I love to talk. But I want to make sure you guys feel equipped and inspired. Go ahead, Nikki.
Oh, no, I was just going to tell Tanya that we're going to get together, and because I have some stuff to give her. So we'll go over this. I know she's like probably overwhelmed, like, but don't worry, okay?
Break it down, girl. You'll be all right. Nikki's got you. We got you. Nobody else? Anybody got anything they want to just share in general? Any challenges that you've had throughout the week? Again, this is, you know, we're here for each other. We want to see everybody that, you know, shows up, like I said, earning these. And so we want to celebrate your promotions along the way. We want to celebrate your comfort zone stretches that you did. When you sat there and said, oh my God, I can't believe I walked up to this lady and asked her about a fundraiser. You know what I mean? Post those things so we can, you know, clap and share and rejoice and celebrate with you along the way, because that's how we get there. Nakia says, what about people who joined, go certified, and deactivate? Do we lose those points? That is a very good question. And the answer is no, you do not lose your points. Once you earn the points, you earn the points, since he does not take them away from you. And one of the changes they made this year that is so, oh my gosh, I cannot believe, if someone rolls up to you and then they certify, you get those points. In the past, when somebody rolled up to you and they certified, you didn't get the points. And that was like, oh, Cincy. So they did tweak that. So if someone on your team, in your downline, sponsors someone and they drop before that person certifies and they roll up to you and they certify, you get those points. So that's a whole nother conversation about staying in touch with your downline. Yes. And you guys see, those are the questions you want to ask, because she put after her comment, she said, it makes me nervous. If anything is giving you anxiety or making you think, oh, you got to talk about it, because you're walking around with unnecessary clutter in your brain. You need all your brain cells to have conversations with people to join and have parties. You know what I'm saying? So ask the questions, because I'm sure somebody else had that same question, or they didn't even realize it. They're like, oh, okay. But now that we brought it out, when that situation arises for somebody, they're going to be saying, oh yeah, they talked about that on the call. I'm good, you know? So make sure that you guys are asking the questions. This is a judge-free zone. How about that?
So this is Yvonne, quick question. So how are folks reaching out to people to get them reactivated? And if they didn't hit certified before they went, before they deactivated, do they still, if they certify, do you still get the points?
Yes, so that's a very good question. Again, since he is giving us points, so the scenario would be that Sally was on your team last year. She dropped off, and she dropped off as a essential consultant. You reach out to her, and she decides to send her request to reinstate to Cincy or reactivate, whichever one it is. And they grant it, and she certifies in August or September. You do get those points, as long as when she left, she wasn't certified. How are you reaching out to people? What I did before I knew about a report that you, as a director above, you could ask for, I went all the way back to 2014, and I just ran my report month by month. You can actually run it. You can select like January, February, March. By holding the shift key, you can click multiple months and run the report. And what I would see is who was there. I did it singularly first, because if you do it multiply, you won't be able to see when they dropped off. But each month I just ran it. I had it set on essentials. I looked at my essentials, and then I would see who dropped off. And then when they dropped off, I wrote their name down, and I also pulled in the lifetime PRV and wrote down their PRV. And I just kept doing that until I had my list. And lo and behold, I had the exact same number of people that Cincy sent me in an email as well, who was in my front line and who didn't certify. So if you haven't been in that long, it's a quicker search. You just go to that year, run that report, see who your essentials are, and just run it. And you can even print it. I just ran mine and wrote it down, but you could print them and have them and identify who your essentials are who didn't certify. And how do you reach out to them? If they were in your front line, hopefully you had some type of relationship So for the people who I know either had family issues or it just wasn't the right time, I just approach it as, is now a great time, you know, and I tell them why I think it's a great time, but I'm asking them, is it a great time for them? For those that I don't remember, I just simply reach out to them and say, hey, have you ever thought about coming back to Cincy? We have an amazing incentive going on right now. So you just have to, depend on the relationship that you had with them, is how I would answer. Does that help? Okay. Anybody else? Who's already got their samples ready for the week? Got their packets ready? Y'all ready to rock it out? Let's go. I mean, if you don't, I'm telling you, if you sat here and you don't, oh my gosh. Even if, this is what I tell my people, because everybody's on a different kind of budget. I tell them, even if you have to take, so all my stuff is in the other room. I don't know. I don't have anything to grab. I'll just pretend this is a product list. Even if you have to take your product list and just spray them with a room spray. And what we do is we put them in a clear bag. We spray the bag, we shake the bag up, and we leave it tied up overnight. It saturates it. So at least when they get my product list, they're like, man, I can even smell it from the product list. All you need is some type of scent and the wherewithal to share. Okay. So have something in your hand that you can share with your those opportunities that are going to present themselves tomorrow. If you're not tracking your numbers, this is something else that I shared. If you are not tracking your numbers, this is what's going to happen. Your month is going to spiral out of control. And let me share why. So remember my scenario, if you do $2,000 a month, that's $500 a week, that's $100 a day on a 5-day week, right? I put dollar signs on the day. $1 sign equals whatever my daily goal is. So in this case, it's $100. So I put $1 sign because I hit it, right? That's my goal a day. So I put $1 sign. If your life happens and everything's going and your kid had a concert and your mother got sick and all these things happen, if you're not tracking it, your month just goes out of control. But if you are, you'll be able to open up your calendar and you'll be able to say, wow, I haven't hit my daily goal in 2 or maybe 3 days. And so now you know to get back on track. But if you're not tracking anything, you guys, it's going to be the 25th of the month and you're going to realize you are so far behind. That's why I had to go to 5 days. A 5-day goal, a 5-day goal, a 5-day goal, a 5-day goal, so that I can make sure I hit 2,000 plus every month and I get my 2 to 3 recruits. So make sure I write down my daily my daily numbers every day, my team, my group, how many recruits, personal and on my group. I track how much did I hit my daily sale. I track it and I know when I'm getting off. The other beauty of having a calendar is you know when you're going to have a full weekend of personal things that are non-Cincy. So that means you're going to have to front load it somewhere else or you're going to have to catch up somewhere else. But what you're not going to do is say, oh, well, I missed it. No, we're not doing that. We are hitting our goals. And the only way to hit your goals is to track them and to know where you're at. I mean, how many of you guys know who Sarah Robbins is? Her book, Rocking Your Network Marketing, yeah? You know what she says in her book? She was actually in the bed. She said she was all in her bed, cuddled up. And she's like, oh, man, I didn't get my 5 people. She got out of bed and went and made her 5 contacts for that day. That's the mindset we've got to have, you guys. We can do anything we put our mind to. We need to show up like the bosses we are, but you've got to put some simple tools in place. Even in your personal life, if you're not tracking things get out of control. You're like, when's the last time I had my oil change? Even though cars tell us these days, when's the last time I put fertilizer down? Track things. And when you track things, you will see a huge improvement. So track your business, know your numbers. And that way, when you are stuck, you can meaningfully go to your sponsor and say, I have a goal of 2,000. I'm setting at 1,200 and I'm just not sure how I'm going to get there. But when you say that, she can say, well, at least she knows where she's at. So many people we have to reach out to as leaders, they don't even have a clue. They're like, what do you mean activate? Do you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be that person. So know where you're at, have a plan to get there, and then track it every day. You got to track it every day because life is going to happen. You can either let it happen or you can make the best of it while it's happening. So that's it. Hey, I'm going to unmute you. Go ahead.
Okay, so me, I have to be honest, because I am who I am. So this week I have been totally off of Cincy this week, and I have, I have like an accountability partner that's on my team. So I had to let her know that I'm not going to be active on my page, right, on the team page. I said, but I'm going to need you to step up and make sure you keep our page active. Last week I was doing other stuff and I had to do that. But I put on my shirt this morning. I'm always branded, but I put on my shirt not with the mindset of I'm going to go out. And I did. I grabbed me some product sheets, not with the mindset of I'm going out and pass this out to anybody, because I was going for something else.
Mm-hmm.
So Lord and behold, I'm walking in Target, and the lady jumps out of her car and says, "Oh my God, you sell Scentsy?" Like, where'd you come from? Us. She says, "Well, do you have a catalog?" So I said, "Wait a minute, let me run back to my car." So luckily I had a business card in my car and I didn't have to dig through my purse. And I gave her a product sheet. And then everything started turning like, okay, I need to do something else because I haven't done squat since August the 1st. I'm doing some business with this dance group. So it's the first thing she says to me, I guess to cut her bill down lower. "Daddy, you want to vend on Saturday?" I'm like, "Sure." So she actually thought that I was going to bring out my other little business. I said, "No, I'm bringing Scentsy out." She said, "What? What is that?" I said, "Scentsy candle warmers." She said, "With them little tea lights, because you know that place is not going to let you." I said, it's light bulbs. When her whole head like turned around. So now I'm getting crazy excited again, because what I missed this first week of August, I really feel that I'm going to get everything that I need plus more on that event, because she has a large crowd that's following her. So for little Cincy to be smelling up that hallway, it's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I am going to definitely set my goal to do samples tomorrow, because no, I do not, but I have loads of product sheets that is already folded, labeled, and ready to go. But no, I do not have any samples made. So, Carrie B, were you talking about me?
You know, you said something, a tip that I want to make sure you guys know. Everyone should know how much spring and summer product they have, meaning product lists, brochures, catalogs, scent of the month. Come August 31st, that should all be gone. You know, I keep one of everything just for memories. But you guys, if you're setting on stuff, there is no reason to end August with this many catalogs sitting on your desk. That means you're not working your business. And that's another, what do they say? That's another checkpoint. If I still got all this stuff, that means I'm not working my business. Remember, in our minds, we can think we're doing so much, but in reality, we're not. Dottie shared, she didn't have the mindset that she was going to go share Scentsy. And I'm asking you, I'm encouraging you to have that mindset wherever you go. If you are at work, I had a lady who used to tell me she can't share Scentsy at work. She can't share Scentsy at work. She can't share Scentsy at work. And we got these little bags, and I think I showed them last week. And you can get any kind of bag, but a little bag, it's got, pockets and, anyway, it allows her to give this to the people when they go to lunch. And while they're at lunch, they're sniffing, they're looking through the catalog, they fill out a door prize slip, they write on the back anything they're interested in or if they want to order. And then and with their information, she follows up with them outside of work. So she had to create a way she could share at work. They can't tell you that you can't walk in there with the Scentsy lunch bag, right? It could be any bag that you make your lunch bag, right? They can't tell you that you can't walk in there with your this old showed off bag, that's got things like that. I mean, I guess they could if you can't take stuff on the floor, but you know what I mean, right? So there's other ways you can brand yourself and draw attention to yourself. But if you're gonna do that, then you got to be prepared for the questions and the inquiries. And do you have a business card? And do you have a catalog to share? Those things are gonna come. So don't get caught, not prepared to share, but be overly prepared. And I'm telling you guys, it will work out. Dottie's going to make that up at her event, but she's also, I didn't hear her say this, but I think she said it, but it was staticky, that she's also going to be doing follow-ups, right? But
I love you, Carrie B.
She's going to be doing follow-ups and making up, because that's it, you guys. People, yeah. There are people sitting out there waiting for you to call them. Remember, you're the consultant. It is your job to reach out to these people and remind them that they need Scentsy. I want everybody to open up their email box when they get off and see how many people are reminding you that you need their product. Macy's, Groupon, every Amazon, everybody I bought from lately is telling me about some new product. Well, you've got to do the same thing. In your subject line, they need to know, hey, it's Carrie B checking in with Cincy. Hey, it's Carrie B, it's stock up time. You know, those types of things. They need to see you in their mailbox too. They need to see you showing how you use Cincy on social media and things like that. Well, guys.
I did send the email out to my customers, and I did, let them know that if you're interested in hosting a party, please respond to this email. I did not ask them if they needed anything, because most of them kind of come back, if not this month, next month. But I did let them know about the August 10% off. But of course, no one ever says anything. I tell you, I can put my picture on Facebook and get 1,000 hits. I put one thing on Cincy and no one answers.
Well, I did direct marketing. So what I did is I made a graphic, and I'll show you guys. I made a graphic, and I asked everyone in the text, I asked them to please share this with at least 3 people that use Cincy. So I'm always constantly trying to force outside of their group, because I know them, like you just said. I know they're going to order this month, and then they're going to wait a month, and then they're going to order on the 3rd month. Well, I don't want you. I need your friends and your family, because I know you're going to order. So, I mean, it's nothing, I just made I don't know if you guys can see that, but I just made that's in Word Swag. And it just says, bars are on sale. Most items 10% off in August. I've got my website, $3.75 each with a 6-pack order. Text me, and I said bulbs, bars, and more. And I've just been texting that out to people with a little note, and I kind of personalize it to people. But don't give up, you guys. If you're on this call and you're saying, wow, I'm in the same boat, I haven't done anything with my business as far, well, start now. Remember what the Fly Girl told her. She said, start where you're at. You don't need a whole new runway. Start right where you're at, bloom where you're at, and make something happen. So if you don't have a goal, I want everybody to set and write a sales goal and a recruiting goal to meet by this Friday, so that you can be successful, and then actually do it. Actually do it. So I'm excited. We're gonna do this, you guys.
Carrie,
yes.
One more thing I wanted to share, because Dottie was talking about how no one's responding to her Cincy things.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw in the director group, and I can't remember who posted it, but one girl was like, when you market to your customers, stop telling them it's 10% off this month. Like, in the day of stuff being 75% off, 80% off, like 10%, people are just like, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I did that. I actually used her advice, and when I sent my, because I text all my customers and let them know that the bars were $3.75 this month, instead of saying they were 10% off. Yes. And everyone I sent a text to ordered bars. Yes. So I was like, that's a good idea, because I never thought, like, 10%, you are right. Like, that's like nothing nowadays. 50%, 75%, 80%, everybody gets excited about. So if you change it from telling them that it's 10% off to it's a huge sale for spring, summer, bars are only $3.75, like you can get this for this, this for this is going away. Like I think you'll get a much better response. Yes. I know I did, because usually I'll hear back from maybe 4 or 5 of my customers, and they actually all responded when I sent them that. So.
And that's huge. That's it right there. You have to show them the value, and that's what Jill teaches you. Show them the value, and that's why you say $3.75 with a 6-pack order, right? Because it's only $3.75 with a 6-pack order. But on Friday, I did a checking in email. I have a group at work, so it's like 100 people at work that order from me. It's like 104 or something, but it's 100 people that order. So I always, whenever it's this month, the transition month, it's the 10% off. But you know what I did? I sent that out. I got it out late because I was working and things. But I sold $304 in one day in 6-pack bars and both. And it was because I let them that their favorites are going away, and that they can get bars $3.75 each with a 6-pack. And they were just coming in like this. Oh yeah, and I might as well go and get my new warmer. Are those on sale? And then I could show them the price. I didn't need to highlight that it was only $2 off of that nightlight. Just it's $18. They were like, okay, cool. So yeah, it is in how you deliver it, right? And it's very, Nikki, it's very much in how you deliver it. So, Yvonne said, I told Nisi the same thing exactly as I'm ending the month with nothing spring and summer. That's right. Don't end the month. You didn't buy all that stuff just to have to go throw it in the trash or just leave it as a, and of course you wouldn't throw it in the trash. You would leave it at doctor's offices and all those things, but why do that? Don't leave that money on the table. Go out there and get those sales this month. And so the highlights of today would be to make sure that you set your goals, to make sure that you go to the Aha Moments group and take in some of the amazing training there. And I forgot I was gonna say what Nikki said, but I forgot what you said. I forgot that fast. And to make sure that, I know what it was, to make sure that you don't discount sales, that you go out there and lead with the sales. And while you're selling, you're opening up opportunities to recruit. So identify who you are. Are you a recruiter? Are you a salesperson? And incorporate the other into whichever rock star you are, right? So I consider myself a rock star seller, and I'm learning to incorporate recruiting into that. Some of you guys are rock star recruiters and you're not, so you don't consider yourself great at sales yet. And you're going to incorporate that into what you're doing. But whatever you do, don't not do anything. Do something, because stumbling through it and not being sure is better than just sitting there saying, I'm trying to get it all figured out. You're never going to get it 100% understanding unless you start doing. So do, share, make samples. You know, if you guys look at my warmer of the month video, my last picture, it's off. And I'm like, you know what? It's not that I don't care, but I won't do it again. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I did it and I got it up. So you have to do. Don't stew, do, and make sure that you are prepared for the opportunities that are going to present themselves this week. Track your numbers. Make sure you know where you're at so that you can see how far you're away from where you're trying to get to, and tweak your goals. Remember, goals are a plan of action. I'm sorry, tweak your plans. The goals lead to your plan of action. And if your action isn't massive enough, you either need to go up and go harder, right? Or maybe you need to direct your attention and energy to a different area. But whatever you do, don't not do. That's my biggest thing, is don't not do. So let's be the big rock star sellers that we are. If nobody else has any more questions or comments, because we're trying to, we want to keep the party going, but it's Sunday night, y'all. We're going to go ahead and end that. But I want to read something to you guys that I read at the end of most of my calls. Hold on a second. Somebody, and then we'll end on this, okay? And Les Brown, this is another thing, you guys. It is not our job as leaders, and it's not your job as a leader to motivate anyone. It is your job to inspire them. It is up to them to take, to motivate themselves, to take what they learn and take what they hear and motivate themselves. They have to decide that they're going to stay up the extra hour or 30 minutes or 10 minutes and work their business. All you can do is plant the seed. So I listen to Eric Thomas a lot and Les Brown. If you don't listen to someone that's inspiring you, I encourage you to do that. Eric Thomas says you can sleep later. Get your hustle on now. And that's why I was up editing that video at 1:30 in the morning with one eye open like this. But that's why that picture was crooked. But we got it done. So we'll end with this. Wanting something is not enough. You must hunger for it. Your motivation must be absolutely compelling in order to overcome the obstacles that will invariably come your way. In every day, we each have 1,440 minutes. That means we have 1,440 opportunities to make a positive impact. If you set goals and go after them with all the determination you can muster, your gifts will take you places that will amaze you. Help others achieve their dreams and you'll achieve yours. Always shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you'll end up on level 1, 2, or 3. I added that part. If you take responsibility for yourself, you will develop a hunger to accomplish your dreams. When life knocks you down, try to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And that's there's always a reason to get up. We were all born with a certain degree of power, and the key to success is discovering this innate power and using it daily to deal with whatever challenges come our way. And just remember to accept responsibility for your life. Know that it is you who will get you where you want to go and no one else. So you guys go out there and dream big. Keep remembering that you can do it, and whatever you do, never ever give up. We'll talk to you guys throughout the week, but we'll see you back here next Sunday. Take care, guys.
Thanks.
All right.